I bet they have Final Fantasy at another store.
You want a Final Fantasy? Close your eyes and imagine yourself flying across a freaking video store, because that's what's about to happen.
Hey Kupos, what's up? Final here today, Final Fantasy Talk, and today we're going to talk about some more Final Fantasy 7 Remake news today. And today what we're going to talk about is, as you know, okay, the game is going to be multiple part episodes and everything. And a lot of people are freaking out because, hey, I understand that as well, because is it going to be a full game or not? And I already talked about this and everything. Yes, the parts will be a full-on game. And if you don't notice, I got a new microphone, so I hope you Kupos do enjoy that. But anyway, Final Fantasy 7 is going to be pretty damn huge, because today we got some news about the first part of the episode anyway, just, you know, going over what they're doing or whatever. And apparently also the story of Final Fantasy 7 is also written out as well. It's already written out, the story and everything. They didn't develop it yet, but what they got planned for the story and everything for the first part, it's already done. That's what they confirmed, that it is already done. So basically, what is going to be happening with this story? Now, basically, a lot of people are wondering of if it's only going to be in Midgar, and that's what they basically kind of said. That the first part of Final Fantasy 7 Remake, anyway, you're going to explore all areas of Midgar or whatever, and basically that's it so far. That's all they told us. So people are having, you know, the thinking of saying, oh, it's only going to be in Midgar or whatever. And if that's the case, okay, if that's the case, just imagine how many parts of this game is going to be made. Now, I understand people will be pissed off because, hey, okay, you're spending, like, you know, 60, maybe even $70 per part, and you're only getting parts of the section of the story that we all know already. I understand people get mad about that, but you shouldn't really get mad if they do actually make the parts long. And I mean, like, long, like 40 hours long of a full-on FF game. You know, a typical FF game should usually, for the first time ever playing it, should last 40 hours at least anyway. So basically, for Final Fantasy 7 Remake, if they do parts and everything, it's going to be very interesting, because honestly, after part 1, what is going to happen after part 1? Let's just say, for example, part 1 was all Midgar, okay? All Midgar, you could, that was it. That was part 1 for like 40 hours or 80 hours. Midgar was the only section that you were playing in for part 1. What happens at part 2? You know, what happens to all the levels and everything that you got? What happens to all the equipment and everything you earned? What happens to all the levels? They gotta figure out to do something like that, because honestly, you know, what if they're gonna do parts and everything and still carry on with the same story as part 1 to part 2, then are you gonna start off as level 1 again? Like, what is this? What are they really gonna do with this? Because if it's gonna be a full game and only in Midgar, obviously people are gonna level up from level 1 to 90 or however the level up system will work. You will be grinding your butt off to get to the max to fight off enemies or whatever. And then what about ultimate weapons and everything too? Ultimate weapons, side weapons, you know, there's so many things that they gotta consider of doing with this game. Who knows how it's really gonna work. But Final Fantasy 7 anyway is gonna be a huge bloody damn game, and people are already thinking, okay, what about the open world? What about the open world? How big is the open world gonna be, and will that be in part 1 or part 2 or part 3 or part 4? They got a lot of work to do. And you know, this is awesome too, because they knew, okay, they told us this too, and this is why I have respect for Square talking about this and everything, that they knew that they couldn't fit every single one into one game file, and that's why they're doing parts. And the only reason that they are doing this is because they don't want to forget anything in FF7, so nobody gets pissed off. And that's what they're doing. They are doing a great job, and I really do like the decision that they're making with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, that they're splitting the parts, so everything that Final Fantasy 7 has, and the numerals and everything about that game, great, will be in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and also they're adding new stuff too, and that's freaking awesome too, you know, new story, and then, you know, explaining the story more, and, you know, also the ending as well, explaining that a lot more, because, you know, still to this day, the ending really does not make too much sense at all, and they're going to do a good job, and I expect them to do a good job. But what we should really focus on right now is Final Fantasy 15, and Final Fantasy 15 is next year, and that will help us with our Final Fantasy addiction. And then after Final Fantasy 15, then we can worry about Final Fantasy 7 Remake in the future for Final Fantasy right there. So anyway, Kupos, you let me know in the comments below what you think about it. All I gotta say is this game, or this series anyway I should say, will be huge, and to the Final Fantasy 7 7-2 thing, I guess that's kind of real now, because it's not a different game, but it's the same game, but it's in part. So you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, Kupos, you let me know in the comments below what you think about it, what you think about this game just being so huge and multi-part and everything. And yeah, and I hope you do enjoy the mic. I'm just messing around with it, and I really love it too. So anyway, Kupos, let me know in the comments below what you think. And yeah, so anyway, Kupos, hope you enjoyed. I'm final, and I'm out. Kupo. See ya.